Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be teaching you how you use TradingView. So first of all, you should go to a browser. Then you click on new tab and you search up tradingview.com. You should see something like this, TradingView. You click on it and then or either you make an account, or if you have one, you just click launch super charts. So you should see something like this. I'm first gonna start with one thing, cleaning up your chart. By standard, you will have a lot of noise on your screen. So first of all, I want you to go to settings. You get there by right clicking on your background. You click on settings. You should see something like this. I'm gonna show you all of my settings to have a somewhat clean background. So at symbol, you can change the colors of your candlesticks. If I zoom in a little bit, you will be able to see what I mean by this. If I click on body, you can see the body is the inside of the candle. The borders are the borders, and the wicks are obviously the wicks of the candles. You can customize these colors to your likings. And then you have data modification. That's not very important. You can put your time zone in. I would advise you to do that so time is right for where you live. Status line. By default, most of these settings here are enabled, and it will give you a lot of cluttering on the top here. So turn off all these things and all that will disappear here. Also with titles for your indicators, I would advise you to disable inputs, values, and background. So as you can see here, I have one indicator. If you have this on, there will be a lot of data and random numbers that you do not need. Scale and lines. So there's not much here to go over. I will show you. You can see my settings, but there's not much custom here. On canvas, you can change your background color. Just take something that you like. Usually something black is a lot more easy on your eyes. Also remove the grid. This is obviously personal and preference, but I would advise you to just remove the grid because this doesn't really give you any plus point in my opinion. Trading, this is not that important, only if you actually trade on TradingView itself. Here is where you can enable those buttons that you need for TradeAvate and order sounds and like if you want money or ticks with your trades. But this is only if you will be using TradingView for actual trading. Alerts is not very important. If you would use them, this is where you can find the settings for it. And events is also not very important. Just gonna press OK. And now your charts should look something like this. Now I'm gonna start with explaining everything on the left-hand side of my screen. So what you can see here is all these symbols, and I will be explaining to you what all of them do. So the first one is simple. You can have your crosshair, the mouse that you use. You can have a little dot, you can have a cross, you can have this magic thingy, but I would advise you to just use the cross because it's a lot easier to measure all the levels on your screen. Next, you have something called lines, channels, and pitchforks. These are all very important tools, especially a trend line, let's say a horizontal line, a ray, or a vertical line. What you can also see here is a shortcut for that line, or the ray, or the horizontal line. You can see if I Alt plus H horizontal line. So if I go here, I press Alt and H, you can see that a line pops up there. What you will also notice is this star, which you can have favorites. When you favorite something, you will see this thingy here. These are all basically shortcuts for everything you will need. And this is usually better if you have some preference what you use and you put it like on the bottom or the top of your screen. And every time you need something, you just go down, you click, you put it on your screen, and it's a lot easier than going on the left-hand side. Moving those two drawings. So here, you can see Fibonacci's, but usually the only one you're realistically going to use of this is your Fib time zone or a Fib retracement. I will quickly go into a Fib retracement. You can see here, this is your Fibonacci tool, which, if you know, you put it on the top or at the bottom and on the top, and you can have some levels in here. I'm going to quickly explain how to actually use something like this, because this will work for all the lines and drawings. All the lines and drawings will have some sort of settings. You can always change the colors or everything. When you see these little boxes, you can click on it, you can change the color of something, you can update values, and there's not much more to it. I would always advise you, because if I go to a default, you can see this is very clunky. I would always advise you, for let's say a Fib, you choose one color, remove the background, remove all the unnecessary extensions, and remove the trend line. Price you can remove, and levels you can remove, because usually once you use a Fib, you know those levels. So you can see here, this is already a lot cleaner. You can have a template. What do I mean by this? If you now click on this, you click on Save As, you can have a template name, so test, and you can save it. If you save it, you press OK. If I now, let's say, change these settings, I take a different color. If I now want that one Fib that I used to use, I can press on this. You see, you click on your Fib, you press this, and then you see here the test one, and as you can see, this will update as how you saved it. Now I can remove this, so I'm going to repeat it. This will work for all these symbols, all these lines. For a trend line, same thing. Settings, you can change your settings, your colors, and then you can save it. You can save it, and then you can reuse it every time. So moving on. Patterns, Elliott waves, and cycles. This is pretty self-explanatory, but if you are someone that uses patterns, you can just go in here and choose the one of your liking. I personally don't use them, so I won't be spending much time on that. Next, projections, long, short position, and a fixed range volume profile. So the long and a short position, I would always advise you to favorite them, because those are extremely important. So long position and a short position. As you can see, you can have, obviously you can have some sort of colors for them, custom colors. I have like a custom color for the long position, and I should also have one for the short, but that seems to be a bit messed up, so I won't be covering that one. But as you can see, you can just change the colors to your liking, obviously. You can put it on a chart. Now you can have your risk to reward here. You see, risk/reward ratio is a 2.8. Let's just change it to a 2. So you see, if you entered here with your stop here, TP there, this would have been a 2 risk to reward, meaning you make twice as much as you risk. Fixed range volume profile, also a very important tool if you like it. I have a full video on this, covering this on my channel, so if you want to see how this properly works, I would advise you to check it out. But these settings are also adjustable, customizable. These are levels, but the most important thing is, how do you put it on your screen? You pick a bottom of a range, the top of a range. There you go. Moving on. This one is also pretty important. Arrows, shapes, but most likely this rectangle here. You can see this rectangle. This is how you will mark stuff, let's say a fair value gap or a order block, whatever you want. As you can see, I have also custom colors. Please change it if you would like. But you can see here on the bottom left, you have this. You can put it on the top. This here, you can put it there. And this way you can mark, let's say, this gap here for a possible retracement. And then let's say you want to put a buy position, and you can use this tool. And in this way, you can have a very clean way of marking a chart. Moving on. I would also advise you, let's say, have a path or a circle, maybe a curve, whatever you like. I have the path because I like marking what I would like to see. Remove drawing. So here is a text and notes. You can have a text on your screen. As you can see, you can type them on your screen, and this is how you do that. Okay. So you have emojis, which is not that important, but if you like it, you can add emojis. This is also a very important tool, what I'm about to show you now. So going to today, let's say, move that one emoji. Let's say you were interested in how big the move was from this high to this low. If you can see here, you can press on this measure tool, and you can hover over that high, click, go to the bottom, click, and now you will have the information of how big this move was. You can see it was negative 82.25 points, which also means negative 0.36%, and that move is also negative 329 ticks. This is for NQ futures. For this symbol, this move took 38 minutes, 38 bars because we are on a 1 minute chart, and there were 9,210 contracts traded. That's all the information that this gives. And if you want to do it quick, press Shift, drag. So hold Shift, click once, drag up, click again, and then you will have this. That's how you use the measuring tool. You have a zoom in, which you can do like this. You can zoom into something if you make that, but I would advise you to just scroll, scroll, and adjust, scroll. That's easier in my opinion. So what you have here as well is, do you see magnets, strong and weak magnet? So I will quickly explain how this works. If you turn magnet off, and let's say you want to put a ray, a horizontal ray on this high, in this way you would be struggling to get the exact high, because as you can see here, it's not always perfectly on that high. If you click on it, on that magnet, you put the weak magnet on, and you hover over it, do you see that it instantly snaps toward it? It instantly just snaps towards that. You let go. Now it's there. That's good. I would not advise you to use the strong magnet, because in my opinion it's a bit too strong. As you can see here, do you see that it's too much? It's too much. If you like it, use it, but that's my opinion. Keep drawings. You can click on it. I'm not sure what this does, not very important. Lock all drawings. This can be handy if you have this, a marking. If you sometimes you're scrolling, and sometimes you click on something and you move it. This can be annoying. What you can do then is you can lock everything, and now you can't move it. Do you see? You cannot move it. So that's what that lock does. Hide all drawings. It speaks for itself. You can hide everything. And here with the trash can, you can remove your indicators and everything. So that's the whole left-hand side covered. Now moving on to the top. If you press here, symbol search, you can have all the symbols that you need. If you want to see, let's say gold, right? Gold, you can search up gold. And let's say you want to trade gold futures. These are the gold future charts. Forex, crypto, but usually it's just you press the all, you search up what you need. Let's say you need NQ, you can search it up, you can click on it. That's that. Here, time frames. This works very similar to those those lines and everything. You can just, let's say a 5-minute chart. You click on this 5-minute, and there you go. This is a 5-minute chart. You can also favorite time frames, and if you favorite time frames, they will show up here on top. What you can also do for time frames is if you press 1 on your keyboard, you will go to the 1 minute. If you press 5 minute. Now, for a hourly chart, you do not press 1 hour. You can do 1H, or you can do a 60-minute chart. So whatever you prefer, 1H or 60. For a 4-hour chart, you can do 4H, or you can do 240. If you want to have second charts, you can just do, let's say, a 10S, and you can see 10-second chart, but you will need to pay for some of that data. So next to that, you have your chart types. You see bars, candles, line charts. This is where you can just change those candle types, whatever you prefer. You can also go into those settings. If you go to, let's say, a Heikin-Ashi chart, if you now go to settings and you go to you should be able to change those settings. But if you have a chart with a different candle type, some of them will have settings that you can adjust here. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I know with a Renko charts, as you can see here with symbol, do you see that the settings are different? You have ATR, you have ATR length. This will be, you can edit this in the right click, settings, and then symbol. But for now, I will just use a regular chart. Indicators. If you press on indicators, this will be basically your library for indicators. You can search up indicators. Let's say a session indicator. You'll see these are the community scripts. These are the ones from TradingView itself. But as you can see, you can search something up, you can click on it, and then it will apply. And you can also, you see, favorite them with a little star. You can also have a source code or a read more. You can also click here on the, let's say, Lux algo, and you will go to the developer offset indicator. You also have like personal indicators, technical. You can find everything here. If you would want it, that's where you find it. You can have indicator templates here if you would want that. If you have multiple indicators on your screen, but you like to switch around, you can create a template and then you can just pre-select that. Alerts. You can or press here and create a manual one, or what you can do as well is, do you see here? You can have this plus if you come to the right, and you can do add alert. If you click on that, whenever price now crosses this area, you will get a notification on your PC or on your phone if you have the mobile app. You can, now I remove it. Replay. I currently don't have replay because I simply don't use it. I have replay apparently. That's interesting. Maybe it just turned free out, I'm not sure. But this is replay. You can go back, you can, so you can see, you can load the chart like this. If you like this, use it. I don't use it, but for backtesting purposes, this can be really good. Here, you can also have these arrows. So if you place a lot of stuff, let's say you have a lot of trend lines and whatever, now you can click on the arrow back to remove any changes. You can also, if you accidentally remove something, you can also go back. See? So on the right hand side of your screen, you can change how many windows you have. You see, but you need a plan for that. But you can change your windows, sync. You can save templates, quick search, settings. You also have take a snapshot. This might be helpful for some of you guys who like to make pictures of your charts, of your analysis for journaling purposes. Click take a snapshot. You can download an image, copy a link, tweet it, open it in a new tab. If you do open a new tab, you will see, you see, this is a picture now. Do you see? This is a picture that you can copy. So you don't have to use your snipping tool. You can just do it like this. This is a lot easier. So on the right hand side now, what can we change here? So default, you will not have much here or just some junk. I would advise you to remove everything and to make a custom template. This is my main, this is everything I use. So as you can see here, I will remove these ones for simplicity. So you have indexes. So what you can do is you can add symbols to this. Do you see here? Every symbol, you can favorite them by clicking on this bookmark and you can give it a color. So if you add it here, you can add these, oh, whoops. You can add these sections. You can add all these sections. And once you add these sections, you can, as you can see, you can have all these custom departments. So you can change the names of them, and this is pretty cool. This is very neat and it's very organized, which I really like. So further, what else do we have? Alerts, you can see all your alerts here. I don't have any active, so there's nothing there. On the bottom, there's not much important here. You can have a calendar, but I don't use it. I use Forex Factory. If you want to have a video on that, I will make one. But on the bottom here, if we go here, what we can see here is a Pine Editor. This is where you can make custom indicators. Wait, let me quickly move my camera. I am sorry. So on the bottom here, we have something called Pine Editor. You can see you can move this bar. Pine Editor, you can add custom indicators that you make with ChatGPT, with Grok, whatever. Maybe you code it yourself if you're smart. This is where you do it. Then you can add it to the chart. Strategy Tester, you can have a strategy. You can load a strategy into this. If you're into algorithms, you can use that. Replay trading and a trading panel. With a trading panel, you can add paper trading, TradeStation, Oanda, also Tradeovate for you future traders. You can connect your broker here. You click on it, log in, and then you will be able to just trade like that. And I think that's more or less it. If you have any more questions, please let me know. But this was my full guide to TradingView. Thank you for watching. God bless.